Success isn't a distant mountain peak, waiting to be conquered through one heroic climb. Success grows quietly, steadily, through the simple decision you make right now, the decision to be better today than you were yesterday. Louise Trusson, whoever achieved anything remarkable, started exactly where you are now. They had the same hours in their day, the same doubts in their minds, and the same choice before them. The only difference? They chose to improve consistently, day after day. They've spent decades studying the patterns of success, and I can tell you with absolute certainty that your potential is neither fixed nor limited. It's as expandable as your willingness to grow. Think about that for a moment. Your future isn't determined by your past or your present circumstances. It's shaped by your daily commitment to improvement. Most people live their entire lives never understanding this fundamental truth. They wait for success to find them, for opportunity to knock, for circumstances to align perfectly. But success isn't something that happens to you. It's something you create through deliberate, daily actions. Right now, in this moment, you possess more capability than you realize. The question isn't whether you can improve. You absolutely can. The question is, will you accept personal responsibility for your growth? Will you make the decision today and every day to be better than you were before? Your potential is like a muscle. It grows stronger with use, but weakens with neglect. The choice to strengthen it lies entirely in your hands. Every morning brings the same pivotal moment, the first conscious thought where you decide what kind of day you'll create. Most people miss this moment entirely. They let their alarm clock or their circumstances dictate their direction. But you're different. You understand that this morning decision shapes not just your day, but your entire future. I remember talking to a successful businessman who told me something profound. He said, "Earl, I don't wake up trying to make millions. I wake up trying to make progress. That's the secret. The focus on progress, not perfection. Every morning, before your feet touch the floor, you have the power to set your direction." Your morning routine, do you start with purpose or do you start with habit? There's a world of difference between the two. Purpose drives growth. Habit maintains the status quo. When you wake up deciding to be better, something magical happens. Your mind begins searching for opportunities to improve. Let me share a simple truth that changed my life. Small actions repeated daily create massive results. Imagine you're holding a penny. If that penny doubled in value every day for a month, do you know what you'd have? Over $5 million. That's the power of small, consistent growth. Your daily improvements work the same way. Maybe today you read one extra page, make one more sales call, spend 5 extra minutes practicing your craft, or show a little more patience with your family. These might seem like insignificant actions in the moment. But remember, everything significant in this world started with something small. The morning decision isn't about making dramatic changes. It's about choosing direction over drift. When you drift, you move wherever life's currents take you. When you choose direction, you harness those currents to move you where you want to go. By the time you finish this day, you'll either be slightly better or slightly worse than you were when it started. There's no standing still in life. You're either growing or declining. The morning decision is your chance to choose growth. Some mornings you won't feel like improving. That's normal, but here's what separates achievers from dreamers. They make the right decision even when they don't feel like it. They understand that motivation follows action, not the other way around. Your morning decision doesn't need to be complicated. Simply ask yourself, what's one thing I can do today to be better than I was yesterday? Then act on the answer. That's all it takes to set powerful forces in motion. Remember, the decision to improve isn't a one-time choice. It's a daily commitment. Make it part of your morning as naturally as breathing. Let it become the foundation of every day you live. You can't chart a course without knowing where you stand. That's not philosophy. It's pure practicality. But here's something most people don't understand. Your starting point matters far less than your direction. I've seen people start from nothing and build empires, while others started with everything and lost it all. The difference? Their awareness of where they truly stood in their chosen direction. Take a moment right now to assess your position honestly. Not where you wish you were, not where others think you should be, but where you actually are. This isn't about judgment. It's about clarity. Too many people live in a fog of self-deception, measuring themselves against impossible standards or hiding from their true situation. I once met a factory worker who wanted to become a business owner. Instead of dreaming vaguely about success, he did something remarkable. He made a detailed inventory of his current assets, not just money, but skills, relationships, knowledge, and available time. He discovered he had more to work with than he thought. Within 2 years, he owned his own small business. Why? Because he started with honest self-awareness. Look at your life like a banker reviewing a loan application. What are your actual assets? What are your liabilities? What skills do you possess? What habits are holding you back? This isn't comfortable work, but it's necessary work. Growth begins with truth. Remember this vital point. Your current position is just that, current. It's not permanent unless you choose to make it so. I've seen people transform their lives from the lowest points imaginable. The key? They faced their reality squarely, then focused on direction rather than position. A ship leaving port. Its starting position is fixed, but its destination depends entirely on its direction. A shift of just 1 degree in direction can mean arriving at a completely different destination. Your life works the same way. Small adjustments in direction, maintained consistently, lead to dramatic changes in destination. Sometimes people tell me, Earl, I'm starting too late. That's nonsense. Starting points don't determine success. Directions do. Colonel Sanders started Kentucky Fried Chicken in his 60s. Grandma Moses began painting at 70. They understood that age. Circumstances and current position are just starting points, not final verdicts. Take a sheet of paper and write down exactly where you stand in 6 key areas: health, relationships, career, finances, personal growth, and contribution to others. Be brutally honest. Notice I said brutally honest, not brutally harsh. There's a difference. Honesty empowers. Harsh judgment paralyzes. Your current position isn't your destiny, it's simply your launching pad. The person who starts with $10 and grows it has learned more than the person who starts with $1 million and maintains it. Your starting point is just that. Starting point, nothing more, nothing less. The most powerful question you can ask yourself isn't where am I, but which direction am I moving? Movement beats position every time. A person moving forward from any position will eventually overtake a person standing still in a better position. Remember this. Every great achievement in human history started from someone's current position. Your position today is perfect for one thing. Starting. That's all you needed to be. A stone dropped in a still pond, the ripple starts small, you're almost insignificant, but watch what happens. Each ring builds upon the last, growing larger, reaching further. Your daily habits work exactly the same way. Every small change you make today creates ripples that amplify over time. Most people overestimate what they can achieve in a day and underestimate what they can achieve in a year. They're looking for big breaks instead of small improvements. But I'll tell you something I've learned from studying successful people for over 3 decades. Success isn't about singular moments of breakthrough. It's about the consistent compound effect of daily habits. Let me give you a practical example. Imagine you have a choice. Take $3 million right now, or take a penny that doubles in value every day for a month. Most people would grab the $3 million without hesitation, but they'd be making a costly mistake. That doubling penny would be worth over $5 million by day 30. That's the power of compound growth. Your habits work the same way. Reading 10 pages a day seems small, but it adds up to 3,650 pages a year. That's about 18 books. Making 1 extra sales call daily might seem insignificant, but it's 250 more opportunities annually. Saving a small amount each day might not feel important, but combined with compound interest, it creates wealth over time. The beautiful truth about the compound effect is that it works while you sleep. Once you set positive habits in motion, time becomes your ally instead of your enemy. Every day that passes multiplies the effect of your positive actions. But here's the catch. It works both ways. Negative habits compound too. That's why the choice of daily habits is so crucial. I've interviewed countless successful individuals, and I've noticed something fascinating. They all understand the power of small, consistent actions. They don't try to revolutionize their lives overnight. Instead, they focus on small improvements they can sustain. They trust the compound effect to multiply their efforts over time. Building muscle. You don't get stronger during the workout. You get stronger during the rest period after the workout. Your body adapts and builds new muscle fiber while you sleep. Success works the same way. The compound effect happens in the spaces between your actions, while time multiplies their impact. Here's a truth that might surprise. The compound effect makes success virtually inevitable. If you stick with positive habits long enough, it's like gravity. It's a law that always works. The only variable is time. Some results take weeks, others take years. But the principle never fails. Many people quit just before the compound effect kicks in. They plant seeds, but don't stick around for the harvest. Remember this, the time will pass anyway. 5 years from now will arrive whether you use the compound effect or not. The only question is where you'll be when it arrives. Start thinking in multipliers instead of additions. Don't ask, what can I accomplish today? Ask, what can I start today that will multiply over time? That's how you harness the compound effect. A 1% improvement daily compounds to nearly 38 times better over a year. Think about that. Not 365% better, but 3,800% better. That's the miracle of compound growth. Your habits are like the programming of your personal success computer. Each small, positive habit you install creates thousands of good decisions automatically over time. You don't have to think about them. They just happen. That's why successful people make success look easy. They're not making dozens of good decisions daily. Their habits are making those decisions for them. Time will either multiply your success or multiply your failures. It doesn't care which. The compound effect is neutral. It simply takes whatever you feed it and multiplies it over time. Your job is to feed it the right input through your daily habits. Compound effect is always working, whether you're harnessing it or not. Every habit, every decision, every action is being multiplied by time. Make sure you're multiplying the right things. Nature never rushes, yet everything gets accomplished. Look at how an oak tree grows. Not in sudden bursts, but through consistent, daily progress. The oak doesn't worry about how long it will take to reach its full height. It simply uses each day to grow as much as conditions allow. That's the perfect model for personal improvement. I've spent countless hours studying natural growth patterns, and they all tell the same story. Whether it's a tree adding rings year by year, a pearl forming layer by layer, or a canyon carved by water over time. Nature teaches us that significant change happens through consistent, gradual progress. A farmer planting corn. He doesn't dig up the seeds every day to check their progress. He trusts the natural process. He knows that with proper care and patience, the seeds will grow. Your personal growth follows the same pattern. You won't always see daily progress, but that doesn't mean it isn't happening. Nature also teaches about cycles. Every growth period is followed by a period of consolidation. Trees grow in spurts, then take time to strengthen their new growth. Animals alternate between activity and rest. These aren't interruptions in growth, they're essential parts of it. Your personal growth follows similar cycles. Sometimes you'll grow quickly, other times you'll need to consolidate your progress. Consider how a spider builds its web. It doesn't try to create the entire structure at once. Instead, it lays down one thread at a time, building on what came before. Each thread supports the next. Your improvement works the same way. Each skill you master becomes the foundation for learning the next one. There's something fascinating about natural growth. It's interconnected. In a forest, trees don't just grow individually. They create complex networks underground, sharing resources and information through their root systems. Your growth works similarly. As you improve in one area, you'll find unexpected benefits in other areas. Physical fitness improves mental clarity. Better eating habits enhance career opportunities. Nature also teaches us about adaptation. Plants will grow toward light, finding ways around obstacles. Rivers flow around mountains, creating new paths. This adaptability isn't just survival, it's intelligence. When you face obstacles in your growth, remember that adaptation is natural. Finding new paths forward is part of the growth process, not a deviation from it. Look at how bamboo grows. For the first 4 years, it builds an extensive root system underground, showing little visible progress. Then in the 5th year, it can grow up to 90 feet in just 6 weeks. Many people quit during their underground growth phase, never realizing how close they were to breakthrough. The natural world shows us that timing is crucial. Farmers know you can't plant in winter and expect a harvest. Every achievement has its season. Sometimes the most important growth happens when it looks like nothing is happening at all. That's when you're building your root system, developing your foundation. Nature never violates its own laws. You can't harvest what you haven't sown. You can't build strength without resistance. You can't develop skills without practice. These are universal laws of progress, as reliable as gravity. Work with them, and they become your allies. Your life is like a garden with 6 distinct plots. Neglect any one of them, and it affects the whole garden. Let me show you how to tend each area daily for maximum growth. First, consider your physical well-being. Your body is the vessel that carries all your dreams and ambitions. Without physical vitality, everything else becomes harder. Start your day with movement. It doesn't need to be complicated. A brisk walk, some stretching, or basic exercises will do. Your body craves movement like a plant craves sunlight. Feed that craving daily. Pay attention to what you eat, not through rigid diets, but through mindful choices. Think of food as fuel for your growth. Each meal is an opportunity to nourish your body or deplete it. Make small, better choices each day. Add one healthy food. Drink one more glass of water. Your body responds to these small kindnesses with increased energy and clarity. Mental development. Your mind is like a muscle. It grows stronger with use. Reading isn't just a hobby. It's mental nutrition. Choose books that challenge you, that make you think differently. Spend time daily with new ideas. I've interviewed countless successful people, and they all share this habit. They feed their minds daily with quality information. Learn something new each day, no matter how small. It could be a new word, a new concept, or a new skill. Your brain forms new connections with each piece of knowledge you acquire. These connections compound over time, making you more capable, more adaptable, more valuable. In relationship building, small actions create strong bonds. Make one phone call, send one thoughtful message, show appreciation to someone in your life. These aren't grand gestures, but they're powerful. Relationships grow through consistent small actions, not occasional big ones. Think of each interaction as depositing in your relationship bank account. Notice people, really notice them. Remember details about their lives. Follow up on things they've told you. These small acts of attention show people they matter to you. Strong relationships aren't built through grand gestures, but through daily moments of genuine connection. Career advancement requires daily attention, too. Do one thing each day, become more valuable in your work. Learn a new skill. Solve a problem nobody asked you to solve. Help a colleague without being asked. Your career grows through these small daily investments. Each tiny improvement compounds over time, making you increasingly indispensable. To keep a success journal, write down your daily achievements, no matter how small. This isn't about ego. It's about awareness. When you track your progress, patterns emerge. You begin to see what works and what doesn't. Your career path becomes clearer through this daily reflection. Financial wisdom grows through daily habits. Track your spending. Save a small amount. Invest wisely. These aren't one-time decisions. They're daily practices. Think of every dollar as a seed that could grow into something larger. Make conscious choices about where you plant these seeds. Start with small amounts. The size doesn't matter, the habit does. I've seen people transform their financial lives by starting with saving just $1 a day. It's not about the dollar a dollar, it's about developing the mindset of paying yourself first, of treating saving as essential rather than optional. Spiritual growth isn't just about religion, it's about developing your inner life. Spend time in silence daily. Reflect on your values, practice gratitude. These moments of quiet reflection help you stay connected to what truly matters to you. They keep you aligned with your deeper purpose. Take time each day to be still. Listen to your inner voice. Ask yourself important questions. What matters most today? Am I moving in the direction of my values? These moments of reflection prevent you from drifting off course. The key to growth in all these areas is integration. Don't treat them as separate compartments. Physical health affects mental clarity. Mental development impacts career growth. Relationship skills influence financial opportunities. Everything connects. Create a simple daily checklist for these 6 areas. Not an overwhelming list, just one small action in each area. Maybe it's taking the stairs instead of the elevator for physical health. Reading one article for mental growth. Sending one kind message for relationships. Learning one new skill for career growth. Saving $1 for financial wisdom. Spending 5 minutes in quiet reflection for spiritual growth. Remember, you're not aiming for perfection in any of these areas. You're aiming for progress. Some days you'll do better in some areas than others. That's natural. The goal is consistent movement forward, not perfection. Think of these 6 areas as spokes on a wheel. When all are strong, your life rolls forward smoothly. When some are weak, the ride gets bumpy. Balance doesn't mean equal attention to all areas every day. It means ensuring none are neglected over time. Every goal worth achieving comes with its own set of obstacles. It's natural, it's life's way of testing your commitment. The key isn't avoiding resistance, it's understanding how to move through it. Let me share what I've learned about overcoming the barriers that stand between you and your better self. First, understand that resistance is normal. Every time you try to improve, you'll feel pushback. Your mind will create excuses. Your body will want comfort. People around you might question your changes. These aren't signs you're doing something wrong. They're signs you're doing something important. I remember talking to a champion athlete who told me something profound. He said, "The resistance never goes away. You just get better at recognizing it for what it is." That's crucial. Resistance isn't your enemy. It's your compass. It points directly at what you need to do next. The biggest barriers aren't external, they're internal. Fear disguises itself as practicality. Procrastination masquerades as preparation. Self-doubt presents itself as prudence. Learning to recognize these internal barriers is half the battle. They're like guard dogs protecting your comfort zone. Once you understand their purpose, you can quiet them. Here's a practical strategy. When you feel resistance, don't fight it. Examine it. Ask yourself, what am I really afraid of here? Usually the answer is smaller than you imagined. Break it down into pieces you can handle. Big changes happen through small victories over resistance. Time itself often appears as resistance. "I don't have time" is the most common excuse I hear. But here's the truth, you don't need huge blocks of time to improve. You need consistency with small blocks of time. 5 minutes of focused effort beats an hour of procrastination. Some people face resistance from their environment. Maybe your friends don't understand your desire to grow. Maybe your family is comfortable with who you are and unconsciously resist your changes. Remember this. Other people's resistance is about their fears, not your potential. Create an environment that supports your growth. Clear physical clutter. It creates mental clutter. Surround yourself with growth-minded people, even if only through books and recordings. Your environment will either lift you up or pull you down. Make it work for you, not against you. Here's a powerful tool. Use resistance as feedback. When you feel strong resistance to something, it often signals an area where you need growth. The things you most want to avoid are usually the things you most need to address. Develop what I call resistance rituals. Small actions that help you push through when motivation is low. Maybe it's putting on your workout clothes first thing in the morning. Maybe it's opening your book to a specific page before bed. These small actions bypass the resistance before it builds up. Most importantly, don't expect resistance to disappear. It's not about eliminating resistance. It's about building momentum that carries you through it. Think of a rocket launching into space. It uses most of its fuel breaking through Earth's atmosphere. Once it breaks through, it needs much less energy to keep going. Your growth works the same way. The initial resistance is always strongest. Push through it consistently, and you'll find yourself in a place where forward motion becomes natural. The resistance doesn't vanish, but your ability to handle it grows stronger than the resistance itself. Having a goal without a system is like having a destination without a map. Your personal system isn't just about what you do. It's about how you ensure it gets done. Let me share how to build a system that makes daily improvement automatic. Start with your morning routine. This isn't about copying someone else's perfect morning. It's about creating a sequence that works for you. Your morning routine should be simple enough to do when you're tired, yet meaningful enough to set your day's direction. Maybe it's 10 minutes of reading, 5 minutes of planning, and 5 minutes of movement. The sequence matters more than the duration. I've found that the most effective systems include triggers. A trigger is a simple signal that starts your routine. Maybe it's putting your running shoes by your bed, setting out your book the night before, or placing your journal where you'll see it first thing. These small preparations eliminate decision-making when willpower is low. Track your progress, but keep it simple. Complicated tracking systems usually get abandoned. Use what I call the check mark method. A simple mark on your calendar for each day you follow through. String enough check marks together and you create momentum. You'll find yourself wanting to keep the chain unbroken. Create accountability through visibility. Put your goals where you'll see them daily. Share them with someone who cares about your success. Join or create a group of like-minded individuals. When your actions are visible, you're more likely to follow through. But remember, The best accountability comes from your own standards, not external pressure. Build review periods into your system. Weekly reviews help you adjust your course. Monthly reviews help you see patterns. Quarterly reviews help you assess bigger changes needed. These reviews aren't about judgment. They're about adjustment and improvement. Your system should include recovery periods, plan for rest, schedule time for reflection.
Build in space for unexpected events. A good system isn't rigid, it's resilient. It bends, but doesn't break when life throws curves at you.
Create what I call if-then protocols. If you miss a morning routine, then you have a backup plan for later in the day. If you can't do your usual workout, then you have a shorter version ready. These backup plans keep small disruptions from becoming complete derailments. Use time blocking, but be realistic. Don't schedule every minute. Instead, block the most important activities first. Protect these time blocks like important appointments because that's what they are. Appointments with your better future self. Keep a success log. Write down what's working and what isn't. Notice which parts of your system feel natural and which feel forced. Your system should evolve as you do. What works today might need adjustment tomorrow. Remember this, the best system is the one you'll actually use. Start small, add components gradually. Let your system grow with you. A simple system that you follow is better than a perfect system that overwhelms you. Success isn't about speed, it's about consistency. Most people want overnight transformation, but lasting change happens through steady, persistent action. Think of it like water flowing over rock. One drop doesn't make much difference, but consistent flow carves canyons. I've watched thousands of people chase success. And here's what separates the achievers from the dreamers. Achievers understand that consistency beats intensity every time. They know that showing up every day matters more than occasional bursts of effort. They trust the process when results aren't yet visible. It's like planting a bamboo tree. For years, it seems like nothing's happening. But underground, an extensive root system is forming. When it finally breaks through, it grows at an astonishing rate. Your growth often follows the same pattern. During those seemingly quiet periods, you're building your foundation. Every master was once a beginner. Every expert started with day one. What set them apart wasn't talent or luck. It was their willingness to show up day after day, especially when it wasn't exciting. They understood that momentum builds slowly at first and accelerates. The power of consistency lies in its compound effect. Each day's effort builds on yesterday's progress. At first, the changes are subtle, almost invisible. But over time, consistent action creates unstoppable momentum. It's like a flywheel that becomes easier to turn with each rotation. The race isn't always won by the swiftest, but by those who keep moving forward. Your consistency today creates your reality tomorrow. Trust the process. Keep showing up. The results will take care of themselves. The moment of decision is right now. Not tomorrow, not when conditions are perfect, not when you feel more ready. Your future self is being shaped by the choices you make in this very moment. The person you'll be a year from now is determined by what you do today. Take out a piece of paper right now. Write down one small action you can take in the next hour to move toward your better self. It doesn't matter how small it seems. What matters is that you take action. Perhaps it's reading one page, making one important call, writing down one goal, or taking a 10-minute walk. Choose something so small you can't fail at it. See yourself a year from now, looking back on this moment. What will that future version you wish you had started today? That person is real. They exist in potential, waiting for your present actions to bring them into being. Every choice you make today is creating that person. Your journey toward improvement starts the moment you finish hearing these words. Not with grand gestures or dramatic changes, but with one small step followed by another. Remember what we discussed. Consistent small actions taken daily create unstoppable momentum. The question isn't whether you can improve. You absolutely can. The question is, will you begin now? Will you take that first small step? Your better self is waiting. The time is now. Take action.